Hello and welcome to Arkansas Style. I am your host, Nicole Neiman. I missed you all yesterday, but I know I left you in good hands. Thank you all for joining us today. We've got some really awesome stuff to cover. Get ready to step back into the 90s with the ladies of the Melanin Land. The Melanin in 90s is a themed networking event hosted by founder Derica Wrights and her amazing team of hardworking ladies. And later we'll sit down with Derica to get you all the details on what the event entails so you don't miss out. Speaking of amazing ladies, we're discussing two female-directed movies today that are up for Best Picture at this year's upcoming Oscar Awards, and Michael Cook will be here in a bit to give us the breakdown of both films. And big things are happening at the home office campus of Walmart over in Bentonville. Currently under construction, but about to make its grand debut is the Walton Whole Health and Fitness Center. And we'll chat with the expert behind the Whole Health Center, Megan Haley, about what Walmart associates and their families can expect from this awe-inspiring fitness center. But before we get to all of that, Kevin Shalin, author and owner of the Mighty Rib food blog, is taking us on a short trip to Benton for a classy meal and an even better cocktail. Rober is one of downtown Benton's newer restaurants, but that's not stopping them from being an instant hit. So we're here to see what Kevin recommends and which menu items you won't want to overlook. Kevin, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Okay, this is a fun restaurant to talk about.
Yeah, Rober, it's a little bit of an upscale place for Benton. I think kind of the first of its kind for that area. And co-owners Heather Baber Rowe and Craig Rowe, the husband and wife team, they have three restaurants basically side by side, and the Baja Grill and I'm forgetting Revival, and then they've got Rober. And Rober is kind of an upscale, a little more upscale than the other restaurants, but it's just got this wonderful vibe and just great bar and a bourbon selection like none other in this area. And so there's a lot going on, and you feel like it's like a real night out when you go there.
Cool. So we've got some pictures to scroll through from some of your dining experiences there. And what's extra special about this place is that Heather is the gal behind the recipes to a lot of these.
Yeah, she's so creative, and she's such a public figure in that area now. Mm-hmm. Like people really credit her for raising up that dining scene in that whole community, and rightfully so. She's instrumental in doing so much, and she's so community minded. I love working with her on various projects that I'm involved in, and yeah, she's come up with these great menu items, and the cocktails, as you can see right there, they're beautifully presented, and you can hang out in the front area. You don't have to have a reservation there. And then you can make a reservation at the main dining area. There's my wife in the back of the bacon flight.
There she is.
Yeah.
This is Shalin peeking out Revival bacon.
So they do a couple things at this restaurant. They're a little unique, and I really enjoy them. You saw the clothesline bacon, where you get a variety of different bacons there, and that's kind of fun. And they give you a pair of scissors. You can cut off the bacon and eat it. But one of the things that we just discovered, and I think they changed in the last couple of weeks because we were there 2 weeks ago, is they do charcuterie boards for one. Instead of getting like this massive charcuterie board that most restaurants do, they can do it for 1, 2, or even bigger. And what's nice about a charcuterie board for one is that it's a perfect appetizer really for 2 people. So you don't have to like overcommit to the charcuterie board, a bunch of meat at the beginning of your meal. That gives you some stomach space to save for that filet that they just showed. And I'll give you a little backstory on the filet. I had a close friend who's a restaurant owner. He texted me one night. He's like, "Have you had the filet at Rober?" And I said, "No." He's like, "You need to make a reservation and have this filet. It's the best filet I've ever eaten in my life." I respect his opinion. I made a reservation. Sure enough, it is a phenomenal filet where they sous vide it, and so it makes it real tender and juicy, and then they sear it off. So it's really well seasoned. I think they like kind of coat it in espresso, and so it's got little crusty edges, and it's really perfect. And everything they do there is great, but more than just as much as the food, the atmosphere is wonderful. You feel like it's a real date night, even for a special occasion. I noticed a couple next to us, you can reserve like this special booth for 2 where the booth kind of comes up high, so you're pretty much secluded from the rest of the restaurant. So I like it a lot. I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for the Benton community.
So much to cover in this restaurant. I mean,
Yeah.
really, when you pick just one restaurant, sometimes I wonder, well, what do we, but this restaurant is everything. So let's go back to the ambiance, right? So they've got those 3 kind of different seating areas.
Yeah.
They might even have an outside, but I was there when it was cold.
Yeah.
But that front area, it's got those really beautiful leather lounge chairs. The cocktails, as you mentioned, super fancy, super swanky. Some of them come with a little note clipped to them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Heather, the attention to detail of everything they do. Everything. She has taken so much time to plan this whole place out. I remember walking in there when it was, they were building it out, and it was impressive then, and to see it now is wonderful. But yeah, you can just show up at the bar area in the front, have a beautiful cocktail, and eat some charcuterie. They have their own charcuterie station. I mean, how many restaurants dedicate a station to the charcuterie board? So they have that. And it's just, it is an oddly shaped restaurant where you kind of walk down a long hall, and it's not the biggest restaurant in the world, which is kind of nice. It's fairly intimate, but they do have an outdoor area. I've never really been out there either, but I know they have music out there when it's a little warmer out. And just like everything else that she does, it's first rate.
Well, aside from the front lounge space, then you have a really cozy, beautiful bar area that you can sit at, and then of course the main dining. I mean, it's like a full evening experience because you can kind of bounce around. I'd like to touch on the bacon flight, okay? I've had that, and I paired it with a bourbon flight, and I like to dip the bacon in the different bourbons.
That's a great move.
That's
yeah, that's a great move. The only downfall I will say about the place is that it's so far from my house, and I'm usually the driver, so I open up the menu and I see like this bourbon selection. I'm like, oh, I want this one, this one, this one. But I got to be a little careful because the drive home is long. But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing what they have. But I love that little.
Well, maybe we can talk Heather into a shuttle bus. Once a Friday, once a month Friday. We can all pile on.
The shuttle to Rober. I love that. Yeah.
Save me a seat. Well, great to see you, Kevin. Thanks so much. As always, Kevin will be back soon with more must-try places to eat and visit around Central Arkansas. But until then, you can follow him on Facebook at The Mighty Rib to keep up with his daily adventures, or visit his blog, themightyrib.com, for more recommendations, recipes, and so much more. Now, the Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts is more than just art on the walls. They host incredible live events, and you'll want to clear your calendar for one this week. We'll tell you the who, what, and why next. Stick around. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. An opportunity of a lifetime is happening this week at the Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts. Brian Blade is a multiple Grammy award-winning American drummer, multi-instrumentalist, and composer, and he will be opening up about his 30 years in music with a free speaking engagement at the museum. He will also be performing in the AMFA's concert series with the Fellowship Band, together with pianist and composer John Coward. So here to fill us in with all the important details is curator Ryan Harris, the man of the hour.
Well, I'm not Brian Blade, but thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're bringing him to us.
I am, yeah.
Incredible. So let's back it up just for a second. The museum's hosting all these kinds of events, and you're in charge of booking these acts, yes?
I am.
Okay.
I'm very fortunate to have that role. Was involved with another venue here for many years called South on Main. And so I'm very fortunate that the museum has decided to kind of pick up where I left off there.
Yeah, and Kevin Shalin, as he was just leaving, attends these events. I mean, he's super grateful that you're still able to bring us these acts.
Yeah, Kevin's been a longtime friend and supporter, and just sort of having flashbacks to moving to Arkansas in 2013 and him reviewing, things at South on Main before it opened, the food. But anyway, so small world.
Nice. Okay, so this week we've got Brian Blade. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I teased a little bit about his background, but first of all, he's going to have a conversation and talk about his 30 years, yes?
Yeah, so Brian's really interesting. I would describe him as one of the most important drummers of his generation, probably the most important jazz drummer of his generation. But what's kind of amazing about him is not just within the jazz idiom, but outside of that, he has had this amazing ability to collaborate with people across many genres. To name a couple, outside of jazz, you've got Emmylou Harris, Bob Dylan, Norah Jones, Joni Mitchell. And so there's probably not that many people living that can claim that they've recorded and or toured with all of those artists, so many of whom have created written songs that are really part of the soundtrack of our cultural life.
Yeah.
So getting the opportunity to hear Brian, who's been in the room with all these people, talk about working with them and just his life over the last 30 years is pretty unique, I think.
Yeah, I mean, pretty unique for sure. I mean, how often do you get to hear from the actual artist himself?
Right.
So that's his conversations at the museum.
Yep.
What day is that?
It's Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, completely free to the public.
Free. We heard that. So incredible. So you're going to actually get to meet Brian in advance of the concert series, 6 to 8 p.m., a free lecture that he's going to talk about his 30 years in the career, and of course, maybe he'll share some of those backstage stories working
I'm hoping
with those
so.
celebrities, right?
Yeah.
That would be fun. Talk about being a fly on the wall,
Absolutely. Well, it's funny you use that term because my relationship with Brian actually goes back to about 2016. He's been a part of a project with some musicians here in Arkansas called the No Tears Project. And I kind of pinch myself when I recount that I've been lucky to be in the room in some of those rehearsals, watching Brian and getting to tour with him a little bit and bring him to Little Rock at other times in the past. So I'm a lucky fly on the wall.
Yeah, lucky you, for sure. All right, and so we're going to follow it up with a concert, and he founded this fellowship band with a friend, a buddy that's a pianist, yes?
Right, John Coward.
Okay, so let's talk about that band.
Yeah, so the fellowship band has been around since the mid-90s. I believe Brian and John may have met at Loyola University in New Orleans. I could be wrong on that, but they are what you would refer to as sort of young lions generation of jazz players. So these are guys that kind of came up in the 90s and really had legitimate claims to, inheriting traditions from aging bop era players, the really famous people that we think of like Miles Davis and Wayne Shorter. And so Brian, it's a 5-piece band, the Fellowship Band, coming to town, and they don't, this may be the first time that they're playing in Little Rock. I actually don't know that. But I would describe them as almost a chamber jazz group. So yeah.
Look at that. So there's a picture there. The event is February 1st on Thursday, 7:30. How do people get tickets to that?
Yeah, visit arcmfa.org, and that'll give them all the information and details they need.
Again, when I said once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to hear Brian speak and then, of course, listen to him play, there's something also about his style. It's a language that they've said that he speaks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Brian is one of these people, rare people, who has attained such a level on his instrument that the way he plays is really unique to him. I think relatively few people attain that level where their connection with their instrument is almost a spiritual connection in a way, but something that when you hear him play, you go, oh, only Brian Blade plays that way.
Very cool. Well, Ryan, great to meet you, and thank you for what you are doing
appreciate
for
it.
our city, for our artists, and of course for that beautiful museum.
Thanks, Nicole.
Terrific. So you can find more information about Brian's appearances at the AMFA by visiting arcmfa.org. Now don't go anywhere. Michael Cook is joining us next to break down 2 Oscar-nominated films. Stick around. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Beyonce said it best when she said, Who Run the World? Girls. And today we're talking about two amazing female directors who took the movie world by Oscar storm with their Oscar-nominated films. Past Lives, directed by Shalin, is both a heartbreaking and heartwarming story about love, fate, and the hold that young love has on the heart. And Anatomy of a Fall from French director Justine Triet takes a thrilling turn and nail-biting suspense after a woman is accused of killing her husband. Always great to see you, Michael.
Good to see you.
I like that it's Ladies' Day today.
I know. I thought we'd have a theme today. Two great directors and two Oscar-nominated films to talk about.
Nice. You got the pink shirt on, so you fit right in here
the whole
with
deal.
us. All right, cool. Well, let's start with Anatomy of a Fall, shall we?
Perfect.
Okay.
I need you to be precise. Tell me everything about the day he died.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was so high.
Yeah. I went upstairs to my bedroom. That's when I heard Daniel scream.
The autopsy report is inconclusive.
I think he fell.
An accidental fall is gonna be hard to defend. Nobody's gonna believe that. You need to start seeing how others are going to perceive you.
He was fragile. It might have been suicide.
No.
Yes.
I can't stand anymore! You're the one to blame!
Stop. I did not kill him.
That's not the point.
Well, music gets a main character Oscar nomination for me.
Definitely keeps you on the edge there, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So this one stars Sandra Hüller, who got an Oscar nod also last week for this film. She plays a writer. She's married to another writer. At the beginning of the film, it's not a spoiler, he falls off the third floor of their home. And then it becomes a mystery. Did he fall? Did he commit suicide, or did she push him? That turns into, she is indicted and goes on trial where the prosecution is trying to show that she's just an uncaring person, and they had a volatile relationship, and that that she killed him. And of course, the defense is trying to show that he was depressed and probably just fell or jumped off himself. It's a bit of a courtroom drama, but really makes this film work is the examination or the anatomy, as it were, of their marriage, of how these two people, that it flashes back and you see some of their past arguments. And it's just a wonderful insight, because in their arguments, both people are wrong and both people are right when they argue. And those are the best kind of things to see in terms of kind of insight into a relationship. It's a very, very well done movie. I also like seeing it because it's set in a French courtroom, and they do things differently than they do like we're used to seeing on Law & Order. So very well done, very well crafted, really makes you examine the relationships of people you know and maybe your own. I really love this film. I give it a 9 out of 10. So good.
Just don't watch it with your spouse.
Well, but then maybe maybe a good discussion. You never know. Just don't go. Stay away from the windows.
Next time we fight, I'll be thinking about it. Stay away from the windows.
Exactly.
That looks beautiful, and like I said, that music really does,
Yes.
Thread you through, keep
Very
you
much
going,
so.
huh?
Very much
Okay,
so.
cool. All right, well, I'm down. So, film number 2.
Past lives. Let's talk about it.
There's a word in Korean, inyeon. It means providence or fate.
Do you believe in that?
That's just something Koreans say to seduce someone.
What a good story this is. Childhood sweethearts who reconnect 20 years later and realize they were meant for each other. In the story, I would be the evil white American husband standing in the way of destiny.
Shut up. He was just this kid in my head for such a long time. I think I just missed him.
Did he miss you?
혜성! 와, 너다. If two strangers walk by each other in the street and their clothes accidentally brush, that means there have been 8,000 layers of inyeon. between them.
Want you to stay. Want you to stay.
I don't get it. What happened?
That's what we're here to talk about. So this is directed by Shalin Song. She's a first-time director, and her first film gets nominated for Best Picture, which is very impressive. It's set over 24 years. At the beginning, you have two young Korean children in Korea. They're about 12 years old. They're kind of a little bit of childhood sweethearts, but the young girl, her and her family immigrate to Canada. And they lose track for 12 years, and they reconnect on Facebook and become kind of intimate friends online in terms of Skyping and all that stuff. But she decides to cut it off because they're worlds away. You know, they won't be able to see each other for at least a year, and she thought this is just not working. So they quit contact, and she eventually meets a young man. The woman is played by Greta Lee, and her husband in the movie is John Margot. They have a lovely marriage. They're madly in love and a good relationship. But then the young man from Korea comes to visit New York. You know, there's still feelings there on his side and maybe on her side too. And so he spends the weekend there in New York City and, you know, rekindle their friendship. And of course, when you have those kind of things, all kind of different feelings and jealousies, but also examinations of paths not taken in life, you know, the past lives, kind of the parallel existence that things you can do. This is just a beautiful example of how, you know, sometimes a specific story becomes a universal one in terms of how we examine our lives and the past that we took or decided not to take. Just a very beautiful film that I also recommend highly. It's 9 out of 10 for me.
Okay, now I get it, and I'm dying to see the ending.
Right.
What
right.
happened?
Now, with this movie, it's not going to be like fast-paced and car chases and things like that. It's just really, just when you watch it, sort of sit into it and just sort of just
I
go
think
with
everybody
it.
can relate to
No,
kind
definitely.
of love lost.
Oh, everybody, no matter who you are in life.
Okay, good deal, Michael. That's a good one. Now, both films are available to watch on Amazon Prime, and don't forget to watch the Oscars. Yep, they'll see which movie takes the win, I guess. So stick around. You are watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Here we go. Welcome back to Arkansas Style. The Melanin Land has another fantastic event coming up, giving you the opportunity to network with other hardworking and successful women in our community here in Arkansas. But it's not just any old gathering. They want you to dust off your old fanny pack and flannels and get ready to be transported back to the 90s. So joining us with all the details is founder Drika Rice. Girl, great to see you.
Hey, nice to see you again.
I love your style today, honey.
Thank you. You know, I tried to channel the 90s vibe today to communicate the message that we're trying to deliver for this event.
All right, what is the message? What's the vibe?
So, Melanin in 90s, it's a 90s themed networking event. So, you know, with the Melanin Land, it's a women's empowerment organization where I intentionally curate spaces for women who are professionals, business owners to get together to really network, build their community, and expand their businesses. So typically, I always have the theme of everybody wearing brown, but this time I said, let's switch it up and let's do a 90s vibe. So this time, the theme is 90s. We want the women to come in their 90s attire so that, you know, not only can you make good connections, but we can, you know, take an opportunity to have a couple of photo ops.
Yeah, for sure. Vibe on the style.
I like that, vibe on the style.
I'm all about it. And that's what's beautiful is that you are connecting women who maybe otherwise wouldn't cross paths.
Exactly.
You're uniting us all in this one front to support each other and, you know, lift each other up. I think it's an absolutely beautiful mission, and you've been so incredibly successful.
Thank you. I'm glad you perceive it that way. Yeah. I'm excited. You know, we're at the 1.5 year mark. So with building this platform, it's been a journey. to say the least, but the connections that get made in these spaces, like that's what makes me feel good. I'm actually working on an ebook called $1 Million Networking because I believe there's a lot of value tied to those around us. Like, we are so valuable to each other, and just knowing the right people can get you into rooms that you never would have had access to. In college, when they used to say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, I wish I really would have understood that fully, because now as an adult, I see it does not matter if you are the most decorated person. If you don't know somebody who's on the inside, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't get into that space. And I know people who don't even have the resume to hold spaces in the places that they do, but they know the right people. So just knowing the right people, being in the right circles can take you further than anything you could put on your resume.
And it's so powerful when you put all these women in a room. It's a lot different than just sending somebody a LinkedIn message. Hey, you're friends with this friend, and you know, can we connect? I mean, you're actually in this physical space together. You're uniting in this style, for example. You know, like you say, usually it's brown, but this time it'll be the themed. That even helps elevate, you know, your mental mindset of being in this community with each other. And the other thing that I think is cool is that I've always believed that you lift as you rise. So you may have a woman in the room, you know, who can really pull somebody up along with her as she's going on her career path. And you never know where it will lead.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because when I used to go to conferences, I would just sit there and listen, or whenever I go to events, I'm just a listener or I'm observing. But I've made connections now that have allowed me to be present in states outside of Arkansas. So even with me learning on my journey, I want to teach other women how to do that. So at each one of our events, like, I don't just throw you out there and say, hey, go network, because networking is actually kind of hard, and it takes strategy too.
There's the word work in there.
There is. Like, with networking, it's not about just trying to find or grab onto somebody else's coattail. It's about how can you provide a genuine connection and value to someone else, because we're all trying to achieve our goals. But you don't just want to be an extractor, like, oh, give me, what can you do for me? But it's like, how can you genuinely support somebody on their journey so that you get that same karma, you know, reap benefits from sowing that seed of helping somebody else. So with my events, I intentionally just teach them how to network, how to engage in conversation to break the ice, but not only making the connections, but how do you maintain them and cultivate them and actually grow them? Because that's a whole nother thing too that people don't talk about a lot. How do you continue to build on those connections? Because sometimes we can get networking, we can go to networking events and get a bunch of cards and have them stacked up on the desk and not even remember who it was we even talked to. So it's like, there's post-networking strategies too that we teach people about so that they can literally grow and not just make a connection one time, but something that's genuine.
Yeah, well, let's tell everybody where you're going to be at and how they can connect.
Yes, so everybody, if you would like to be at the Melanin in 90s event, you can go to themelaninland.com and get tickets. But this event will be held in North Little Rock, Arkansas at Pike Studios. So we are looking forward to having this event. Again, it'll be February 3rd at 3 p.m. at Pike Studios, and you can go to themelaninland.com to get tickets.
Yeah, and definitely check out your social media, because I'm not kidding when I see you are really growing and connecting these women in such a beautiful way. And lovely to see you, Drika.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. Again, you can find more information on the Melanin Land and how to get involved by visiting themelaninland.com. Coming up next, we'll have the perfect event for you to shop with some of your favorite local small businesses. Stick around, you're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Welcome back to Arkansas Style. Allison Rashid Robinson, owner of Addison's Grace Luxury Candle Company, is hosting a small business showcase this Saturday where some of your favorite small businesses and local shops will come together to showcase their products and support the community between them. And here with all the details is Allison, along with one of the vendors you can expect to see this weekend, Prince Holiday, owner of Coils and Culture. Well, you two, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Any occasion to shop is a good occasion for me.
Oh, yes.
Indeed.
Totally agree.
But what's even better is that it's local focused.
Yes.
So Allison, why is this so important?
It's so important because over the past few years, you've noticed a lot of businesses starting and a lot of businesses having to close, especially during COVID. And I'm noticing last year we've kind of had that shift again where a lot of businesses have either been closing down. Another thing is sales have been really slow, 2023. Now, I know me and Prince, we attended a lot of events together, and during the holidays, it was a lot slower compared to previous holidays. So say, for instance, 2022. So I wanted to do something to make up for that, where we're highlighting a lot of the best businesses in Little Rock because it's so important to the economy right here in Little Rock to have everyone come together and support us.
Yeah, not only does it help the economy, but I just think it helps the spirit of the city
Absolutely.
all over the place. I mean, everybody is trying their absolute best to reconnect in the community and put food on their own family's table.
Absolutely.
And why wouldn't you want to buy a product, you know, that you know the actual producer of the product? I mean, that's really special. And have it all in one place here.
Absolutely, and it's easier to get something more unique when you're purchasing local and you're purchasing from a small business.
Well, speaking of unique, I mean, Addison Grace's, look at these candles. They have a little bit of sparkle in there,
a little
too.
razzle dazzle.
I like your style with the razzle dazzle. So you see that little bit of sparkle in there. You've got those wood wicks. Tell me about the candles and some of their fragrances.
Yes, so everything is made with coconut soy wax. So there is pretty much vegan. There's no petroleum waxes. And it has the wooden wicks, so the crackling wooden wicks as well. All of them are blends between 8 to 14 fragrance oils and essential oils. So it's definitely eco-friendly.
Wow, and a lot of oils. That's wonderful.
Yes.
That'll give you a lot of fragrance in the room. Okay, how about this? A classic chic.
Yeah, so that is a blend of amber and linen.
And what is this? Is this, would you consider this room spray? Is this a body
yes,
spray?
It's a room and linen spray, but the base and everything is handmade, so it's a witch hazel base, so it's safe to spray on your skin if you need to.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
All right, very cool.
I wear Iconic.
Yeah, he wears Iconic.
I wear Iconic.
Oh,
yes.
man.
And I actually have that in the diffuser oil.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That is so fresh and light. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want your room and your linens to smell so delicious and your little pillows before you go to sleep?
Absolutely.
You'll just have sweet, sweet dreams. Okay, these are very, very cool and so practical. So tell people at home what these are if they're not familiar.
They are charcoal incense. So they're made out of a charcoal base with the same essential and phthalate-free fragrance oils as the candles. So it's always good to get like a incense to match your spray, to match the candles, and the diffuser oil, and just blend it all together. Yeah.
More is more in my world as far as fragrances are concerned. Well, absolutely delightful products for sure. So Prince, where do you come into the equation here?
I come in, I create wire wrap jewelry items, all hand created by myself. The only thing that I buy is mainly the gemstones and maybe the ear wires here. But everything else, I do all of the turning, all of the twisting, and all of the coiling. So it's all my creation.
This is fantastic. I mean, when you said unique, right, Allison? I mean, this is so unique. Where are you going to find something this special?
Well, one place you can find it is www.coils3culture.com.
Yes.
Coils3culture.com. There it is on the screen right there.
There we go.
So you've got these gemstones in there. So you source the gemstones and then you come up with these creations.
This specific piece here is locally made. Miss Laurie, for icing glass design, she hand blows glass in pendants and beads. So I bought that from her, and I just added a celestial bead to the top.
Oh, that is.
So it's even more locally sourced products.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic. So
yeah.
you've got some necklaces here.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, you've got the bracelets, some earrings. Really, really beautiful.
Labradorite.
And what is this wire? Are they all? Do they all come in this copper color wire?
I
Do
have
you like
some
that?
in copper like this. On my website, you will see that I have some in sterling silver and gold field as well.
Oh.
I have pieces in the Rocket Lab, out at Stone Maiden. I have work everywhere, so I'm kind of spread out with everything. But I can produce in most precious metals.
Wow, you are very, very talented. Beautiful. Okay, and down in front, we've got a crocheted dress. I mean, talk about a work of art.
Yes.
So she will be attending the event Saturday. The company is called Jinx Crochet. Now, she won't be having any dresses. This is actually custom made for someone. So if you're looking to have anything custom made,
Yeah, is that for
she
me?
can actually measure.
Sorry.
The young lady that I borrowed it from would be so upset if I gave it to you. But Jinx can definitely make it for you, and she can get you measured, and it will fit you like a glove. It is amazing. She is so talented. I had to bring her with me today.
Yes, I mean, I really love what you're into here for sure. Not only local businesses, supporting the community, bringing our spirits up, but like you said, I mean, unique. You just can't find something like this anywhere else. Well, how special. Well, Allison, tell everybody where they can come shop with you, okay?
Yes, so the Saturday Small Business Showcase will be at 15524 Chenal Parkway. There will be a sign up front, so it's across the street from the Kroger's on Chenal, so just keep that in mind. If you want to visit my page to get any additional details, it's Addison's Grace Luxury Candle Code.
Okay, is it free to attend the event?
It is absolutely free to attend the event. We just want to see you there.
And bring your money and spend it on all these beautiful businesses.
Support.
Well, lovely to meet you. Prince, great. Continued success to you for sure. Absolutely beautiful. Well, this is fun. You can find more information about this weekend's showcase at Eventbrite, and you can shop a little early by visiting addisongrace.org as well as coils3culture.com. Now, there's another reason you'll want to consider joining the Walmart family of stores up in Northwest Arkansas. This is a benefit that gives you and your family the gift of health and fitness, and one you'll be the first to preview this world-class facility next. Stick around, you're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Big things are happening on the home office campus up at Walmart, and I'm joined by Director Megan Henley, who is the whole health and fitness expert up at Walmart. Megan, great to meet you. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. You as well.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
It must be these new things that are happening up at Walmart. Tell us about it.
Yeah, hopefully you can see the excitement on my face and all the hard work that's been going into getting Walton Family Whole Health and Fitness ready for our associates and their families later this week.
So cool. So you had something existing, but you've made some significant improvements. Let's cover some of those amenities.
Yeah, we had a really incredible facility, Walton Life Fitness Center, that has been with us for over 40 years, and it was a great space. We had a great foundation to work from, but we took input from our associates and their family members and those members that have used the facility for a lot of years of new things that they'd like to see as we kind of built out the design and all the programming for Walton Family Whole Health and Fitness.
Yeah, we're going to get into some of those details because it's really super cool, the approach that you're taking to health and wellness. But let's talk about who can actually use the facility.
Yes, Walton Family Whole Health and Fitness is available for any Walmart associate, whether they're full-time, part-time, or temporary in the Northwest Arkansas area. And corporate home office as well as field associates are welcome to join. And then they can choose to have associate-only membership, or they're also able to include those folks in their household, so their spouse or partner and their children.
I mean, Walmart is such a treasure to our state, and the fact that they're giving the gift of health and wellness to their employees, associates, and family members. But it goes much beyond just the physical aspects. It's also touching some other aspects as well, such as...
That's right, and you can see that. Yeah, you can see that in our name, Whole Health. So I think that's the element we're most excited about. You know, as you noted, physical health is something we've always had a great offering for with the fitness spaces and recreation spaces. And those certainly came with us into the new building, but we've included a lot of other elements of whole health and well-being. Nature is one example. You'll see the beautiful landscape throughout the new campus, but also around our facility and even inside. There's some unique natural surprises. And then some of these other whole health programs that we've brought in. Nutrition Kitchen is one example of how can we give associates and their families the opportunity to learn more about food and preparing healthy food, both hands-on and different educational opportunities. So that's one of the new elements that I'm really particularly excited about.
Yeah, I mean, emotional, mental, financial, and so much more, all with the mission of helping Walmart employees, associates, family members be the best versions of themselves.
Definitely. We're really looking at this as providing a really broad assortment of experiences and opportunities for associates and their families to discover and explore in the facility. It's a wide assortment, and it's based on what's most important to each individual. So we want to give you all these opportunities to explore, what matters most to you and what is going to be most supportive for your particular whole health journey and well-being goals.
So Megan, leading this mission for over 15 years, what kind of improvements have you seen these kinds of initiatives make?
I think the thing that a lot of our members tell us and that we hear, continued stories from folks that have used the Walton Life Fitness Center and are excited about the new facility is the community that they've built there and the friendships and the connections that they've made for that social well-being aspect. That's something that, on the surface you don't see. You think about your physical health or your mental well-being, but that social and community side of it has played such a huge role in just building that feeling of community and support around them as they've either moved to Northwest Arkansas from another area. So that's something that I always like to call out that's really special about the Walton Life Fitness Center, and I know we'll just continue to grow at Walton Family Whole Health and Fitness.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, Megan. I know that sometimes starting that fitness journey can be daunting, but if you've got a support group, an emotional connection to that as well, some accountability partners, and healthy choices, what an incredible asset it is.
Definitely. We've got our team at the Whole Health and Fitness facility there to help support. And even if it's just coming in the door and exploring all the opportunities there before you dive into an intense fitness class, we want to give you the chance to step in wherever you feel comfortable.
Well, thank you for making it so accessible and modernized too, Megan. Great to meet you.
You as well. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed meeting Megan, the director of the Walton Family Whole Health and Fitness Center up on the Walmart home office campus. What an incredible gift they are giving to their associates and family members here in the new year. We'll be right back after this. You're watching Arkansas Style.
You're watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and to all of our amazing guests and sponsors. You can find more Arkansas Style by following us on social media or visiting our website for clips of the show you may have missed or just want to rewatch for a second time. We will see you all again next time with love. Mwah.
watching Arkansas Style with Nicole Neiman. Furniture provided by Hank's Fine Furniture.